Hey there, gamers. I'm back this week with CB and Alyssa, and we're sharing our favorite media moments involving game reveals and celebrity appearances. In news, there were some pretty interesting video game movies announced this week and a new trailer for Alone in the Dark. New games discussed include Cult of the Lamb and an indie RPG called Video Game Fables. This is the Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome to episode 410 of the Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community, which can be found at thegamingoutsider.com. It's Wednesday, August 17th. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and joining me are my good friends. First off, one of my favorite people in the world, Miss Alyssa White. How are you doing?
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. I'm not the best, but I'll be okay.
Also joining us, Chris Berensmeyer.
Well, fine. You can go fall down a well.
I love you, CB.
Look at that. He's just like, I'm going to just dump on CB.
It's always fun. It's always fun. It's been a couple weeks since I've been on the episode. I was out of town doing a little mini vacation with the wife. Before that, I had some friends in town. We were at a baseball game, at a Brewers game. So I am very, very excited to be back on the mic with you guys. It has been way too long. Have some interesting happenings going on since I was on the episode last. I made a recent purchase that we're going to actually talk about in more detail on a Patreon episode, but I picked up one of the rarest NES games, which I know CB is smiling at me because he's had it for about 3 years.
Well, I still love the fact that you call it the rarest. It's not the rarest.
I said one of the rarest.
Unbelievably uncommon.
There you go. I mean, I'm not going to get stadium events. I'm not going to get the Nintendo World Championship card. It's never going to happen. But this was a big deal for me, guys. I spent all summer doing all the kinds of side jobs. I've been painting a barn. I've been cutting down trees and splitting firewood and selling it, and all this kind of side stuff so that I could afford it. It was very expensive, but it feels nice to have little Samson off of my back, which is now officially in my collection. I say officially. I still haven't brought it to CB to open it to verify, but the guy I purchased it from came. He was vouched for by a good friend of CB's and mine, so I have a feeling it's pretty good. But
yeah,
nothing to say, CB. No congrats, or
Oh,
proud of you, man.
Oh, congrats! But how bad did that hurt, Scott?
It hurt.
Knowing what I paid for mine.
Yeah, you paid 3 digits for it. I paid many 4 digits for mine, so it hurts. But it was fun to have something to shoot for this summer, and felt like I earned it. So that was pretty cool. Also,
I will say, next time, I was going to say next time, Scott, when I tell you to pick up something, just do it.
When did you tell me to pick this up?
It won't come back to bite you later.
Oh, actually, you did tell me to get it
multiple times.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the money at the time. That was the thing, is I had the money this time. Anyway, also want to make sure everybody is aware this episode will go out tomorrow, so you'll still have some time. We've got our giveaway up right now for a copy of The Quarry on Xbox Series X, which CB and I played and reviewed about a month ago, I want to say it was, or so. And by the time you hear this recording, hopefully we'll have the giveaways up as well. I've got 2 copies of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, or is it just Sonic 2? I can't remember. It's a Blu-ray, DVD, and it comes with a digital copy. I've got 2 copies of that to give away, as well as a gift card. So be sure you were checking the social media outlets for the Google Forms links so that you can enter in those contests and be part of that giveaway. I still haven't seen Sonic 2.
I haven't either.
Funny.
I watched the first one and liked it. Just haven't watched the second.
Well, we're not eligible to win. Just
we're not.
Throwing that out there. I'm looking forward to watching it, but actually, Kevin hooked me up with the digital copy, so I will watch it. But it's on Apple, and I can't watch Apple movies on my TV unless I have an Apple TV. So it's a little frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
But what are you gonna do? Anyway, let's get into the games that we've been catching up on. CB, let's start with you. You've been gone quite a while. What have you been playing?
More Coromon, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I saw somebody in our community asking you about it.
Yeah, it's still good. It's been a couple weeks and it's been really busy at work, so unfortunately I haven't played as much as I would like. But Coromon, and I even tapped back into some Dead Cells because more Dead Cells updates.
Yeah, comfort food, and they just keep adding to that game.
Oh,
it's nuts.
Oh, I think one of the developers was openly saying that, like, they're planning on, like, they have like a 5-year plan for this game.
That's nuts. And all that stuff is free, isn't it? Like, aren't the updates free?
No, they're not.
Oh, they are paid DLC. Okay, that makes sense then.
So some of them are free,
Coromon.
some of them aren't.
Gotcha. Alyssa, what about you? Anything you've been catching up on?
I beat Stray, which I love that game, and the ending was completely unexpected for me.
In a good way?
Yeah, in a good way. It ended well. I'll just say that. I don't want to spoil it. But yeah.
Any tears? Anything bad happen?
The cat does get injured, but it heals super quickly. Like it limps for maybe 15 seconds and then it's okay. There is one emotional moment towards the end that I don't want to spoil, but nothing too bad.
I think I know what you're talking about because I keep seeing this clip on Twitter that people like watching this one scene.
You'll have to let me know after we record. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it.
Don't want to spoil it here. So you dug it?
Oh, I really did, yeah. Especially, being nice. A cat lady. And I did start up Lake a couple nights ago because I needed something calming, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah, that was a great Zach Parkerson recommendation.
Yeah,
I liked it too.
Oh, I didn't remember you played it.
Yeah.
I just like being a male lady and going around. There's a crazy cat lady in this game as well named Mildred. And I've already done a mission for her where I had to take her cat to the vet because she fed them too many cupcakes. And it's just lovely to deliver the mail and meet the people of the town, and they all have these different personalities, and it is very relaxing.
I hope you know that your nickname from here on out is
Mildred. No, that's awful.
Wow.
Mildred of the Gaming Outsider.
No. It's okay. He still calls me Nick on occasion.
Well, that's a callback.
I was wondering why on Discord why it said Chris Nick.
So back when we were trying to promote R2V2 a long time ago, we actually went to the news station, the local TV station, to do a spot on there, and they listed his name on the YouTube link as Scott Clark and Nick Berensmeyer, which was pretty funny. So
yeah,
his name has been Nick on Discord for like quite a while, which is pretty funny. Anyway, for me, I know it's a very, very short game, but I did finish Aperture Desk Job. CB, I know that you are a huge Portal fan, and I don't think you were on the episode when I first talked about this game. This is not a Portal game. It is more or less a tech demo to show off what the Steam Deck can do, but I think you will want to play it because it's very Cave Johnson focused.
And that's all you had to say.
Yeah, they did bring back J.K. Simmons, and
even better.
They do some pretty funny things. It's got that Portal wit. It's only like a half hour, so like one of these weekends when we're together, you just need to.
It's not like I'm not going to see you tomorrow.
Yeah, if I get there early enough, you could probably just knock that out before we start playing D&D. So it was a very clever way to do a tech demo because it's barely a game. It really is just like this is what the controls can do in the game. It shows off the gyroscopic thing. It shows off all the buttons and the touchpads and everything. It's really, really cool, but it's very, very short as well. Also, I'm going to be talking about this in detail on a Patreon episode with Kevin, which I know CB is going to talk about shortly about what's coming up. But Kevin and I do that trade-off, Break the Seal, and he's playing Link's Awakening. And his trade-off for me was that I had to play Sonic Generations, which I picked up on Xbox 360. And I will admit that playing the original Sonic and Sonic 2, I didn't grow up with the game, so they never really wowed me. I appreciated the speed compared to playing a Mario game, but they just never really resonated with me quite like they do Kevin, who is a massive Sonic fan. But guys, Sonic Generations is amazing. I feel like for the first time in my life, I get what makes Sonic so cool, because Sonic Generations is an absolute blast to play. Have you played it, CB?
Yeah, the moment you put it on the Xbox, I was playing it alongside you.
Oh, were you?
Oh, yeah. Because I beat Sonic 1 and 2 in probably 20 minutes.
No. Am I saying the wrong title? I'm
Wait,
not
no.
talking about the.
I'm thinking Origins.
Yeah, you're thinking Origins.
Generations I haven't touched yet.
Generations, dude, is a whole nother level. They do something really cool where it's called Generations because new Sonic meets old Sonic because of something with the story, like there's a time warp tunnel or whatever. And every level has two versions of the level. One is a traditional Sonic game that goes from left to right in 2D. And then the other version where you play as new Sonic is like behind the view of Sonic as he's running, but it'll switch its view and stuff like that. And it is an absolute dream to play. I never feel like I hit a roadblock like I did in the old Sonic games. And I guess I understand you can memorize those levels and get through them very quickly, but absolute blast. They do these cool things where Sonic will just take off and grab onto a rocket and the camera will spin around at hyperspeed and then he's running at full blast again. And you jump into a cannon and it shoots you over here and you hit a bumper and fly off, and everything just feels like the level design just feels so much more thought out than the older games. I understand it's an older game, so the technology wasn't the same, but it's really, really awesome. So I'll talk about more on that in a Patreon episode. But the last game I've been catching up on is an older one on Apple Arcade. And I saw this because obviously I know CB's favorite game in the world is Galaga.
I love Galaga too.
So there is a game called Galaga Wars Plus on Apple Arcade. I honestly don't know if it's available anywhere else. CB, are you aware of this?
I think I've heard of it, but for the most part, I don't touch any of the mobile games.
Yeah, and I will say it is difficult to play this because the way you play it is you hold down your finger where your ship is, and wherever you draw your finger, the ship moves. And as long as you have your finger on there, it shoots. If you take your finger off, it stops shooting. And it plays not the same type of Galaga. You don't have like formations. It more or less plays kind of like a shmup where ships just come in and you try to get rid of them all, and then you get power ups. But the power ups are much more intense than they were in the original original Galaga. And then as you start unlocking things, you also get to unlock extra ships. So you actually get to play as the ship from Galaxian and all of this other fun stuff. It's a fun little mobile game that next time I see you, I'll have you mess with it because it's clearly made with a lot of love with the original Galaga because the music is there, the ship looks the same, but just slightly more the graphics look a little bit more tight, less pixely.
Yeah,
so.
I actually did just check. It is available on Android.
Oh, okay.
So I may check it out.
I don't know if it's how much it costs on Android, but like I said, it was part of the Apple Arcade subscription that I got like a 3-month trial for, so I don't know what it costs. It's worth a check out, man, especially because you love Galaga so much, and it's kind of nice to play Galaga without having to repeatedly mash that fire button over and over and over again. You just hold it down and it does
just
full
get
speed.
Better, man. It is free on Android.
There you go. You should check it out and let me know what you think of it because it's. I think it's worth checking out. I checked out another game on Apple Arcade. It was like a bowling game, 3D bowling game. It's bowling. You
can't really screw it up.
Yeah. But it's fun. I actually played somebody online. Got my butt handed to me. So
I would. Speaking of bowling games, I would love to find one of the old bowling arcades with like the spin ball.
Oh yeah.
Because I've always that is a nostalgia fix that I miss right now. So I need to find one.
I feel like the closest we get modern day is Golden Tee machines, and I just have I would rather play bowling game than a golf game. But
broke my finger on a Golden Tee machine.
I believe it. So that's what I've been catching up on. Obviously, there's some new games we're going to mention later in the show, but let's go ahead and jump into the week's news. Couple new trailers to start things off. A game called Thymesia. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Comes out on Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and PC on August 18th. I believe Zach has that listed in the new games coming up as well. Also, a game called Alone in the Dark. There's no release date yet for this. It is coming to Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation. I know I've been talking to Zach about this. He loves the PS3, Xbox 360 era Alone in the Dark, and he is super jazzed about this title. So very little information, just a very interesting trailer. Also, we've got a movie based on Pac-Man in the works. And speaking of movies, Ghost of Tsushima's director wants to make a movie based on the property. Microsoft is accusing Sony of paying Game Pass blocking fees to developers. I'm sure we'll talk about that. We got an official release date for Hogwarts Legacy. And lastly, Wave Race 64 is coming to Nintendo Switch Online on August 19th, which will be the day after this episode releases. So you don't have very long to wait. But CB, I feel like you've been gone the longest. Where would you like to start?
Something that makes me angry.
I'm not sure. There's a couple here that I think would make you angry, but which is
stupid Pac-Man
The
movie.
face you made when you said that, I'm like, he's going to say the Pac-Man movie.
yeah.
Why? This is no. Nobody asked for this. No one. Not a single person.
I just think of the Pac-Man from the movie Pixels when I hear Pac-Man movie. I'm like, ugh.
Ugh.
But I mean, like, at least it made sense in Pixels. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't an entire movie based on Pac-Man. Here's my worry. My worry is that they're going to, because how do you make Pac-Man into a movie? My worry is that they're going to go the route of like the animated television show or like that awful Pac-Man 2, The Adventures or whatever, where they have a Pac-Man with legs and arms and stuff, and they're going to do something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It drives me crazy because there are so many great story-based games out there to make films on, and they choose Pac-Man. I don't know.
There is no
Pac-Man
story
figure's
in
over, right?
Pac-Man.
Like, you have no idea like how cringy this is to me, because I'm like, oh cool, let's just pick some low-hanging fruit and expect to make a movie out of it. I'm like, you're making a movie based upon like a dude that literally wandered through a maze, eating pills, chasing ghosts.
If you look at Ms. Pac-Man, there was a story in Ms. Pac-Man. If you remember when you beat a certain number of stages, they had the whole like, oh, here's how they met, and then other things happen. I don't remember.
Yeah, still. Wow.
So, CB, I know you're super negative on this, but let me shed a little bit of positivity by a quote that was in no, just listen, man. Just listen. Here's a quote that I got off of the article. The project will be based on an original idea from Chuck Williams, Sonic the Hedgehog, of Lightbeam Entertainment. Now, I can't remember if you saw Sonic the Hedgehog or Sonic 2. I was pretty surprised at how good those were. Or good the first one was, anyway.
Wait, let's see. That's because those actually had a story and things to do, not wander through a maze, munching drugs and chasing ghosts.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. However, if the guy behind Sonic the Hedgehog is behind this, I'm going to at least pay attention to what they're doing.
No, I have not at all.
CB's going to be boycotting this movie.
This is the kind of thing that happens when somebody's like, man, this guy had a great idea. Let's see what his follow-up is. And you're just like, what were you thinking?
Mm-hmm. I mean, Mario's already being done, right? So that's the
which you already know that I take issues with that. Just because
why.
That is the strangest casting I've ever seen in my life.
The only one I remember is Chris Pratt as Mario.
That's all you need to remember.
That's
why.
Yeah.
There are so many better choices. But like this to me, like, okay, Sonic was still big because it had the cartoons, big fan base, and it made sense because it has story. Mario, big fan base, has lots of fans, like big story, like lots to pull from. Pac-Man, nothing, not a thing.
Is there even really a antagonist? I mean, the ghosts are antagonists, but there's never been like a, why do they want to kill Pac-Man?
Well, and then to top it all off, this is going to be live action.
Yeah, I don't know how you make it live action.
Yeah, that's going to be...
No! Like,
wasn't there supposed to be like an Asteroids movie and a Tetris movie?
Okay,
I heard about
Asteroids
the Tetris movie.
Makes sense because you can take creative liberties with that.
Kind of like they do with Battleship.
No.
I don't know how you make a movie out of Tetris.
Tetris, like, no. Actually, you know what? If they were to make a movie about Tetris, I see it being more like Thomas Was Alone.
Okay.
Just very noir film, like strange and bizarre.
Like you play as a Z-shaped piece?
Yeah, But
Tetramino.
But like Pac-Man, this, like I said, no one who is asking for this. Like, who in Hollywood keeps thinking that some of these things are great ideas? Because I want to know who greenlit this. Like, you know what, bro? Let's make a Pac-Man movie. Forget Metal Gear, Assassin's Creed, like all these other story franchises that have great stories. Pac-Man, bro. That's where the next big hit is at.
Well, they did Assassin's Creed, and we all know how that turned out. So
I'm willing to bet this is going to flop harder than that.
Here's the thing. It's got the Pac-Man name. No matter what movie they make, people are going to go see it just to see what the hell this movie is going to be.
I just cannot wait to see this trailer, because this trailer is like, when they finally release the trailer for this is going to be the like, oh God moment. Like, this is going to be the first Sonic trailer.
Okay, so here's what we got to do. Whenever that trailer releases, I want you to look at me in the eye and tell me that we're going to do this. When that trailer releases, do not watch it.
Oh no,
until we can sit together and watch it together.
We are gonna live stream our reaction to this trailer.
Okay.
And we're gonna make sure to use an old TV, because I have a feeling I'm gonna throw a brick through it. Just
very heated.
Oh,
Alyssa, what are your thoughts other than story?
Don't know how they're gonna make a Pac-Man movie. I'm not particularly thrilled at the moment about it, but I mean, I wasn't thrilled about a Sonic movie to start with, and that one turned out entertaining, so I'm not going to completely write it off at the moment.
I still want to see the original Sonic before they made the CG changes with the teeth.
Oh my goodness, I wish they would have done that as a
bonus. Oh my gosh.
To watch the whole movie with the original Sonic.
Because I guarantee
they had
that
it
movie
done,
has to
right?
be like full-on horror almost.
Didn't they bring back Toothy Sonic in
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, which I still have not watched, but I've heard it's wonderful.
It's actually a really cute movie. But yeah, Sonic makes an appearance in that, like old, before they made the change to Sonic, like as that is his character. It's only like a little cameo thing, but it's pretty funny. So, well, that was a pretty negative reaction. Let's keep rolling with the movies a little bit with the Ghost of Tsushima announcement, because I think this is a good thing.
Yes.
The director wants to make a movie based on the game itself, but he wants it to all be Japanese. And I'm talking language, talking actors, talking, film location.
Which is the way it should be, I believe.
Yes.
I am so excited for this.
I mean,
but you still won't watch an Akira Kurosawa film with me.
I never said I would not watch it. I said I haven't yet.
We've had all
You have not
summer.
offered. I've never gotten an invite. Hey, Scott, you want to come over and watch a Kurosawa movie?
Seinfeld rules at my house, bro.
Yeah, just show up.
Yep. If I'm home, man, you literally just walk in. I don't care.
I mean, if they can make this like an Akira Kurosawa film, I would be down for it, because it would be incredible.
He's still my heart.
There's no way that they don't offer a black and white version of whatever it is.
Yeah, they did that
Even
with
if
the
it's
game.
in color, right?
I would actually rather see a black and white version.
Me too.
Or like a black and white with just like a couple things in color, kind of like they did with Schindler's List, or Pleasantville. Yeah, wouldn't it be kind of cool, like if they had just those cherry blossoms or whatever? Like,
actually, no. I rephrase that statement. I would be okay with it if they did it in the likeness of Sin City.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Okay,
where like blood and like certain things.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's a whole nother. I would actually just rather see this in the style of an Akira Kurosawa, like even with the graininess of like a film.
Yep.
Oh, I would.
But I don't want the Sin City style in terms of like making it look like a comic book. I want it to look.
No.
But that for colorize, like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But see, here, Hollywood, this is how you do a movie that people would want to see and watch.
Mm-hmm. I think how many people haven't played Ghost of Tsushima? Number one, people that don't have a PlayStation. Even if you're like a video game player and you only have Xbox or Switch or PC. Actually, did Ghost of Tsushima come to PC yet? I can't remember. No. I thought they talked about it.
Wait, I think it's coming. I don't know if it's here yet.
I know it was supposed to be ported. I'm not sure if it's there.
Because I remember PlayStation owners being mad. Other people are going to get to play this too. This sucks. But yeah, I am all over that. That is a property. That story was so good, and they could really make a fantastic movie out of that.
Actually, See, this is what's bothering me even more now, is the fact that, like, a Pac-Man movie's getting made when we could have a Gears of War movie.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna happen. That has to happen, man. There's no
Why
way.
the person that we all want to be in the casting is getting to the point that he may be a little too old.
I'm trying to remember who you want. I want Dave Bautista. Yeah. And The Rock as Dom would just be perfect.
I'm so pissed about the stupid Pac-Man movie thing. Like, unbelievably pissed.
I had no idea you were that angry. That's interesting, because that's not the story I thought you were going to be that angry about, but we'll get to that in a minute. Alyssa, what would you like to talk about?
I guess the big issue topic, which is Microsoft saying that Sony is allegedly paying off developers to not put games on Game Pass.
And again, the key word there being allegedly. We don't know if there's
alleged
proof or anything.
This is not confirmed.
I don't want to come across like a... Yeah. So yeah, why don't you tell everybody what's going on with that a little bit?
Well, Microsoft claims that Sony is allegedly paying developers fees to not put their games on Game Pass in an attempt to inhibit growth of the subscription service. And they're really concerned about Call of Duty and its accessibility on PlayStation.
Right, which is interesting because Activision Blizzard is already contracted to have the next 3 Call of Duty games on PlayStation. So there's nothing to worry about in the immediate future. That includes, I think, Modern Warfare 2, which is coming out, in November? I think?
It's sometime this year.
So this would be a worry 3 years down the road or whatever, whenever the 4th Call of Duty game comes and Xbox has that decision to whether make it multi-platform or keep it on Xbox. I don't know. I mean, that's the real big issue, or the big concern with Sony. But whether or not they're paying developers fees to not put these games, I hate having conversations about this, because anything I say negative towards Sony makes me sound like an Xbox fanboy. But I mean, it just seems like a Sony thing to do. They've been on top for so long and they want to stay on top. So they're actually willing to shell out money to stay on top, which makes financial sense, but it seems kind of shady. CB, your thoughts?
First off, my thoughts are, if they're allegedly paying, that means somewhere there's going to be a contract or a paper trail.
Yeah.
If there's not, and a developer is smart, sure, we'll take your money. Hey, Microsoft, have it anyways.
Well, if they sign a contract, I mean, is that how,
if they
how that
don't,
works?
if they're just
there's not
here's
a contract.
some hush money, don't allow this to happen.
Mm-hmm. Here's some cash.
Yeah. Go buy yourself a new Ferrari.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. At the end of the day, this is business. It's just business being business.
Business.
Sony's being smart, trying to keep things that, like, off of something that is legitimately, like, creeping up on them hard.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And Microsoft's like, hey, you guys want to do that? We're going to call you out on it.
Right.
Like, it's not like Sony's making, like, the best decisions right now with a lot of their stuff. So if they got caught making, like, hey, look, they're trying to alienate you from having these free games on the service. Like, it's just another black eye.
Yeah.
But I applaud Sony if they are doing it, because, like I said, it's business.
And from the Xbox standpoint, for people that are Game Pass subscribers, it's almost hard to even get mad at that. Like, well, what games could be on the Game Pass right now? Because there are so many games on Game Pass now. I like if I weren't doing a podcast, I would just do Game Pass, except for like those, like Callisto Protocol or whatever that's coming out that I have to play. I would just, play whatever on Game Pass and just be happy.
Well, I think Sony's trying to stem the tide of certain things happening.
Mm-hmm.
Because I literally just read a tweet about a PlayStation exclusive possibly coming to Game Pass.
Oh, yeah?
Death Stranding.
Oh, wow.
That's Game Pass for PC, though.
But Microsoft has openly said that they're talking about moving over some of the PC stuff from.
be
So I'm like,
interesting.
that's funny. So
well, I mean, that would make sense considering, the last presentation where Kojima came out on stage. You know what I mean? So that would be the
Kojima
next step.
does own the rights to the game.
And he's partnering
I don't know
with
what contract.
Microsoft on a project, which I doubt it's just that, but he could.
Death Stranding 2. Only available on Microsoft.
That would be a slap in the face. I would be actually upset if they did that.
So would I.
Yeah.
But
he says laughing. No, you wouldn't.
No, actually
I can see the twinkle in your eye, man. You're like,
all
yeah,
right, we've already discussed this. I like both companies to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said I applaud Sony if they're doing this because it's business. Business. So I mean, both sides, like they're playing the game, like they are literally hyping the Console Wars Part 2 right now.
Yeah.
And I'm loving watching it.
Well, I like watching it when Microsoft and Sony do it. I don't like watching it when the fans do it. That's the difference for me.
At this point in time, I ignore the trolls and everything on Twitter.
It's hard. It's like a train wreck, dude. I can't look away. I just have to read. But there was a tweet I saw today that said, which of these is the best console? It was like original Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, or Xbox Series consoles. And I as soon as I saw that, I'm like, that first comment's going to be somebody saying, none of them, the PlayStation's better. You know what I mean?
Oh, I would have loved to see the random Nintendo troll, the NES.
Yeah.
Or the PC player. PC's the best, even though PC's not a generalized console. Like, it's just...
But
they're getting closer.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, here's the thing. Oh no, Sony's trying to stop a couple games. Microsoft's like, cool, we'll just find like 15 more. And just keep going, bro.
We'll just acquire somebody else.
I mean, if you were Sony, like, I would legitimately be pissed because one of the biggest storied franchises that they have, MLB The Show, is free on Microsoft. Like, if I was Sony, I would be pissed because that is an in-house made Sony game that's being given away for free on your competitor.
Mm-hmm. You know what's funny? This is the first year that MLB The Show came out, and I did not play it, and it was free. Like every other year, well, granted, every other year I rented it at Redbox for like $4, and then played it for a weekend. But this year it was free, and I just couldn't be inconvenienced
But it was free last year.
I know.
And then it's just like I loved watching it because I'm like, ooh, I wonder if 22 is going to be free, and they were like, oh, MLB 21, the show is leaving Xbox. But don't worry, 3 weeks later, MLB 22, the show is coming.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
That's two huge games that Sony makes millions off of.
Yeah. I want to read you guys a couple quotes that I picked up regarding this. Let's start here. It says, considering that exclusivity strategies have been at the core of Sony's strategy to strengthen its presence in the games industry, and that Sony is a leader in the distribution of digital games, Sony's concerns with possible exclusivity of Activision's content is incoherent, to say the least. This is Microsoft speaking. It only reveals, once again, a fear about an innovative business model that offers high-quality content at low cost to gamers, threatening a leadership that has been forged from a device-centric and exclusivity-focused strategy over the years. Indeed, Microsoft's ability to continue expanding Game Pass has been obstructed by Sony's desire to inhibit such growth. Sony pays for, quote, blocking rights to prevent developers from adding content to Game Pass and other competing subscription services, unquote. That to me is just like Microsoft being like talking crap, but doing it in a professional way. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
they're not being jerks about it. They're just, but they are definitely throwing some fire.
Oh, I mean, I love the first quote when they're like, PlayStation loves to claim that they have exclusive titles, but they're trying to prevent people from having exclusive titles.
Yep.
I'm like, that stings.
Which, from a legal standpoint, is that an issue? They can do it, right?
Yeah, they can do it.
I mean,
But-
I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
To the general public, they're like, yeah, Sony's trying to take things away from me. Screw
Right.
them.
Not
I mean,
Sony
to
fanboys.
me, that's how it's worded. And then they're like, oh yes, we have this innovative business model that's low cost for all gamers, and Sony wants to take that away from you.
We're the
With
good
a smile
guys.
on-
Look what Sony wants to do to you guys. Yeah, it's an
I'm-
interesting wording.
Like I said, I'm legitimately loving this back and forth battle, and then you have Nintendo sitting in the background, just be like, whatever, guys.
We're just gonna do our thing
We're
over
gonna buy
here.
our crap anyways.
Yeah.
They're
We got a
like,
different colored Switch coming.
they're like, we know who the real king is. Look at us.
All right, well, let's move on. The last thing I want to talk about is that trailer for Alone in the Dark. Did you guys get a chance to check that out?
I did, and it
No, I
looks
watched the
incredible.
other trailer, unfortunately.
You watched Thymesia?
Yeah, which I actually want to play.
Did Okay, well, we'll come back to that in a second. Alyssa, you said you watched it?
I did. I have not played an Alone in the Dark game at all.
Me either.
I have watched the abysmal film adaptation,
Oh,
which is awful.
Was that
It was Christian
what's his
Slater,
name?
and was Tara Reid in it as well?
I think so, yeah.
God,
I watched
that
it when
just
I was about
sounds
12
awful.
or 13, and even then I was like, ugh.
I cannot remember the director's name that did that, but wasn't he like
Was
notorious
it
for
Uwe
making
Boll?
those? Uwe Boll. There you go. I think that was him. I can't remember for certain, but like he was just notorious for making these video game adaptations that were
Yeah.
awful.
So, I mean,
But this one looks
it
good.
does. It looks
This-
really good.
I don't know. I watching this trailer for the first time, I was getting those, not necessarily the same type of game, but I got the same feeling watching this the first time I watched the original BioShock trailer.
Mhm.
I understand the completely different games, but how excited I was to watch that BioShock trailer. Like, I cannot wait to get in that world and just see what happens. That's what I got when I watched this trailer. It's got the setting looks like it's like, I don't know, like 1920s or something like that. I'm-
19 basically pre 1940s.
1940s. Okay. It just looks really interesting. And I feel like we haven't had a good novel horror game in a while. And I understand there's been other Alone in the Dark games, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And it's going to be cool to have something that's not, Silent Hill, Resident Evil, Dead Space, as much as I'm looking forward to Dead Space. Like, just something that's going to feel fresh and exciting.
Oh, yeah.
And if Zach were here, he would be talking about all the unique things that Alone in the Dark on 360 and PlayStation 3 did. He said they had all sorts of fresh ideas. And the conversation I had with him over text was that he misses the days when games tried to be new and innovative with their gameplay. He said he feels like that was the last time. I don't know, maybe I'm misquoting him, but that was one of the last times he remembered where a developer actually legit tried something new in a AAA game. So, yeah, I tend to get really jazzed about games when Zach gets really jazzed about a game because it takes a lot to get him
Yeah.
pumped. But I'm
I mean, there's been a few other that have tried new things, but yeah, I legit, I just had that running in the background while you guys were talking, and I'm like, yeah, it does feel like this is going to be a blast.
Mm-hmm. It's the year of horror games, I feel like, and one that's not space horror, I guess, for 2023.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because that's what it seems like 2023 is going to be, is a lot of ones like Dead Space and stuff like that. So, all right, CB, talk to me about Thymesia.
Do you remember Dante's Inferno?
I do.
I do.
It reminds me of Dante's Inferno.
Okay.
Just the look and the combat and the big monsters. I'm like, this feels like it's gonna be a blasty blast.
Blasty blast.
I love how Chris forgets sometimes that we're on a audio only podcast and that the listeners can't see his facial expressions. I say, CB, tell me about Thymesia, and he just gives me these glowing eyes and like excitement in his face.
Creeper face.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm on board.
It to me it looks kind of like Dante's Inferno crossed with a little bit of Soul's Love.
Okay.
So
Yeah, be careful.
there
People
was-
say Souls-like, they get
I
nervous.
said Souls love.
Souls love, okay.
So I mean, there's clearly some dodging and rolling going on in this.
But there was in Dante's Inferno, too.
Not like this. Like it clearly looks like a Dark Souls style roll.
Okay.
But there's a monster that pops up on the ground, and it reminds me of the Lust fight.
The boss?
Yeah.
Oh,
Where-
now I'm
where,
thinking
like,
of the level.
She came up on that one side, and
Yeah.
you got to pivot back and forth. I was like, ooh, I'm getting some Dante's vibes, and it looks good.
And Dante's Inferno is a game that, like, the first time you play it, you can't wait to finish the level just to see what they're going to do next.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
And
Tell me Dante's Inferno gets me excited.
I'm so looking forward to so many of these games that are coming up because it reminds me of older games
Mhm.
that we haven't seen something in that style in a while.
Yeah.
Because it's always been battle royales, Souls likes, rogues.
Mhm.
I'm like, give me something.
Another Assassin's Creed.
It's been a hot minute, man.
It's been like 2 years. Settle down.
Valhalla. I mean, for a while, that's been a hot
Yeah.
minute for them.
I mean, they used to do
Yeah.
yearly releases, so
Yeah. So something new, fresh, exciting. Bring it to me.
Absolutely. Well, that's the week's news. Let's go ahead and move on with some quick housekeeping. Want to remind everybody that we do have a Patreon page available. If you'd like to help contribute to the show and maybe get some bonus episodes, you can do so at patreon.com/thegocast. We do appreciate the help. $3 a month will get you a bonus episode, and $5 a month will get you 2 bonus episodes. And yes, we are getting caught up. We've got 3 episodes in the works right now. CB, why don't you let everybody know what is coming up on the horizon and what they can listen to right now?
Well, most recently, there's that wonderful Break the Seal of Max Payne 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
But coming up soon
Mm-hmm.
to your ears, folks, a retro outsider look at Little Samson
Yeah.
and how much Scott's going to hate himself.
I may or may not reveal what I paid for that game on that episode.
Oh, you're going to reveal it. It's going to happen.
Okay. All right.
We also have Trade-Off, Link's Awakening versus Sonic Generations. Scott talked about that earlier, so we'll kind of get to hear a little more in-depth on that. Desert Island Games with CJ Moore. And then returning after a long hiatus.
Been a while.
Games that aren't for us. Scott's Pain.
I have no idea what CB has planned for me, but we got to make that happen soon because I am running out of time. School starts in 2 weeks. So we're going to have to. Yeah,
Well,
we're gonna have to
luckily,
make that happen.
I'm about to have the majority of next week off.
Nice.
So
So
we're
do
gonna do
I.
some things.
We're going to do some things, get some recording done. But if you'd like to hear any of those episodes or maybe some of our past episodes, we got legacy episodes, games that aren't for us, Desert Island Games, Retro Outsider. Head over to patreon.com/thegocast. And if you sign up, you get access to all of our previous content. And it's a lot of fun. We hope that you will help contribute to the show. Let's go ahead now and jump into the games that we've actually been playing. All right, first things first, we got some new games coming up this week that you can purchase right away. First is Blossom Tales 2, The Minotaur Prince, coming to Switch PC August 16th. If you remember, the original Blossom Tales was more or less a Zelda clone. So pretty safe to say that might be on my list. Also, Roller Drome coming to PS5, PS4, and PC on August 16th. If you remember, that was unveiled during E3 week. Way of the Hunter coming to PS5, Series X and S, and PC on August 16th if you are into hunting. Tribes of Midgard coming to Series X and S, Xbox One, and Switch on August 16th. Little League World Series Baseball 2022 coming to PS5, PS4, Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC August 17th. That's exactly what it sounds, by the way. Catizens coming to PC August 17th. Kirby's Dream Buffet coming to Switch on August 17th. I have never heard of this game. I don't know how that one.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it before. I watched the trailer today.
Yeah. Cursed to Golf, PS5, PS4, Series XS, and One, and Switch and PC on August 18th. Slaycation Paradise, PS5, PS4, Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, PC, August 18th. the previously announced Thymesia, PS5, Series X and S, Switch, and PC on August 18th. We Are OFK, coming to PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC on the 18th. Lair Land Story, Switch and PC on August 19th. Cloudpunk, coming to PS5 on August 19th. And a pretty massive release is Madden NFL 23, coming pretty much everywhere on August 19th. Alyssa, of these titles, which are you planning to pick up this next week?
I definitely want to play We Are OFK. It is an episodic game, though, so I'm not sure if I'll pick it up immediately or wait till all the episodes have been released. But it definitely looks like something I would enjoy because it's a narrative-driven game and you make dialogue choices. I checked out the trailer for Catizen because I was like, that screams my name. I don't like the cats are the graphics in that game. The cats just look creepy to me. I don't know.
Like James Gordon cats creepy.
I haven't seen. I can't. It's just.
It's okay. Neither did anybody else.
It's just that trailer was enough to be like, not for me.
Yeah, nope.
And I have always wanted to play Cloudpunk. I just never got to it. And I watched the PS5 trailer, and the upgrades look beautiful. So I might play that one day.
Nice. All right, CB, how about you? I think I already know the answer.
Well, what do you think's the answer?
Thymesia.
Well, yeah. That, and apparently I want to play Kirby Fall Guys.
Is that what it is?
Dude,
Yeah.
did you not watch this trailer? It's
No, I
Kirby
didn't.
Fall Guys.
Yeah, it's pretty much Kirby Fall
Wow.
Guys, but it's got desserts in it.
Yeah,
Oh.
like I watched this trailer. I'm like, God, why does this look like Fall Guys? And then they zoom out and they show, and it's a course. And then later on, you see multiple Kirbys running the course. I'm like, it's Kirby Fall Guys.
Wow. How'd they get away with that?
I
feel
don't know. But actually, the number one thing I want to play on this, Curse to Golf.
Really?
That does look interesting.
Dude, that looks awesome.
It's a golf roguelike.
Yeah, golf roguelike.
My eyes just lit up.
Yeah, like I can't believe like you didn't immediately just go bonkers when you saw that, because I was like, oh no, this is a. But so it's a golf roguelike, but apparently like every stroke matters. So like if you
things
screw
get
up,
bad.
it just kills you.
Oh.
So I just saw this. I was like, oh man, this looks like fun.
All right, we're gonna have some things to talk about next week for sure. It sounds like.
Yeah. What about you?
Blossom Tales 2. I don't know if you guys remember. Blossom Tales is a game I reviewed a long time ago. Anything that smells like Zelda, I'm interested. So I'm gonna check that one out.
Surprised you're not all over Tribes of Midgard with as many emails as I get about it every week.
Yeah, right? Yeah, some of these times we read these lists, I'm like, I recognize that one from somewhere. Oh yeah, get 3 emails a week from them. So
Yeah.
So, Scott and CB, you both have been playing Cult of the Lamb, which looks adorable yet dark, and it seems like it has roguelike elements, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, pretty much.
I unfortunately did not get to this yet.
Oh, you haven't? Okay. So, Scott,
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on this? Is it adorable and dark like it looks?
the dichotomy between being cute and dark as crap is clearly evident in this game. I mean, the game opens with you playing a lamb that's literally going to be sacrificed.
Oh.
And this giant blade comes, you die, and you go, I assume, to Hades, and the devil basically makes a deal with you. It says, I'll let you live again if you start a cult in my name. And your choices are yes or absolutely. So, you start a cult, and that's why it is Cult of the Lamb. And the game starts out as a, imagine like Binding of Isaac, but at a more angled, isometric view.
Okay.
So the three quarter angle.
Yeah, it's a heavier angle than Binding of Isaac. Almost feels straight over the top with just a slight angle. This one has a more exaggerated angle. But the way you go through it felt more like Hades in terms of, it feels more linear instead of like Binding of Isaac. You're going through and backtracking and trying to find the exit. This feels like I have 2 options. Which option am I going to take? Kind of thing. It starts out very simple. You just have a melee attack, at least at the beginning. You have a melee attack and a dodge roll. That's all you've got. Then you make it through this first section, and at the end of this first section, you acquire a follower. And after you acquire a follower, you go back to, I don't even remember what they call it, wherever your cult is growing, and you summon this follower, and he says, "Please don't kill me. I'll do anything you want." You say, "Great. You are now a follower of the Cult of the Lamb." And then it turns into a management sim game where you have to
CB's
build.
face.
I wish you guys could see CB's faces sometimes when we do this podcast. It's amazing. It turns into a management sim game because you basically have to keep your followers fed. You have to keep them happy. You have to keep them toileted.
Oh, toileted?
Yeah, if you don't give them bathrooms, they poop themselves.
Okay, are your
Apparently.
fellow cultists, are they also lambs or are they different?
They're different kinds of animals.
Okay.
Like my first one was a rabbit, and they're kind of like procedurally generated, like you get random whatever. Yeah, so you have to feed them. You have to harvest moon style, like trees and rocks and berries and stuff to be able to build the necessary things that you need to. So me being the dork that I am, I spent like the first hour of this game just completely clearing every tree, rock, and berry bush in the entire thing, which took a while, and then built all I could, and then went back in the dungeon again. And that's how the game works. You go in the dungeon, get as far as you can, come back with whatever resources you gather to build up your cult, to keep your cultists happy. I haven't gotten super far yet, so I haven't really seen a lot of the intricate things you do with the management sim, but it's got that, like you said, like, it's a dark story, right? You're slaughtered and then brought back to life by the devil to start a cult, but all the characters look like Gravity Falls.
Oh yeah, I kept
animation.
seeing people saying it looked like Gravity Falls.
Yeah, so it's like super adorable, and all the followers you get are just super cute with the big eyes and everything, and it's very interesting. I am not dissatisfied with my purchase, but I need to dive into it a little bit deeper to really give a full impression, because I like roguelikes that give you a finite amount of, like, to kind of get an idea of how far you're going to have to go.
Mhm.
So when you start going back into the dungeon, I think they call it going into the faith, like the Holy Faith or something. There are 4 or 5 doors to get to. 4 doors and then one main one. And you need a certain number of followers in order to get through the first door, which is only 1. And then in order to open up the second one, I have to have a larger number of followers. So basically, I'm going through each section, trying to build up my cult and trying to build up my followers so that I can then proceed to the second one, eventually the third, eventually the fourth, and then what I assume is the final boss, which is in the middle. So I'm having a blast with it just because the humor isn't so much on the nose. It's the humor is really kind of based on how dark the story is, but how adorable everything else is, because it does not look like a horrific game at all. But like I said, I'm very, very early on. So far, I would say I recommend it. I'm just looking forward to seeing what more they throw at me in terms of being able to do with my followers and things that I could potentially keep them from doing Sims style, if you know where I'm going with that.
I did want to ask, when you go into the dungeon, how punishing is it roguelike wise?
Again, it's hard for me to answer that because I am so early on that I have not had any struggle whatsoever. Okay. So, like, it's almost laughably easy, but I'm that early on. But the game also does have a difficulty slider.
Okay.
There are 4 different difficulty sliders, which I feel like is different for roguelikes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't feel like that's been in there. Rogue Legacy 2 had a house rules thing where you could basically change the difficulty to stupid easy. But it was kind of refreshing to see a roguelike actually give you an option at the beginning, which can be changed at any time. So if you feel like you're getting hit a little too hard, just drop it down to an easier difficulty. And also the recommended one is the second of 4, which is weird to me. I always feel like it would be at least the third, and then there's like a super punishing level that would be the hardest, but that was kind of cool to see. So Cult of the Lamb, looking forward to diving more into that because I'm really digging it. But I've been very busy with a bunch of games this week, so I'm going to try to get back into it on Friday. CB, talk to me about Arcade Paradise. It's funny because I saw this trailer and I know what an arcade fanatic you are, and I was like, well, CB has got to play this game, and then lo and behold, you picked it up. So
yeah.
So what is it?
Do you like doing laundry?
No.
Okay then. So we'll get there in a second. So Arcade Paradise is
like guacamole.
Is
Did we just become best friends?
Velociraptor.
John Stamos. All right, that's enough. We got to go on.
Yeah, we do. No, so Arcade Paradise is a game where you are a young adult and you have been given charge of a laundromat.
Okay.
And you discover that the arcade machines that are in the back are making more money than the laundry machines.
Oh, okay. I like where this is going.
But you have to convince your father, who owns the laundromat, that you're right and he's wrong. So you secretively build an arcade in the back of a laundromat.
Oh, so this is like a sim game, a management sim game.
It's a management sim game, but there's more. This game goes deep, man.
All right, I'm listening.
So you're still managing this laundromat while making money and building your arcade in the back that's ever growing and expanding.
So do they make like the laundry management sim part of it just super boring on purpose? Yeah,
yeah, they do.
Okay. I like where this is going
because and it's so irritating because you're like, oh yeah, I can sit here and do this, and all of a sudden you're wearing like an old like Timex watch,
and
the watch beeps whenever you have like a task to do. It's like, oh, a washer is done. Beep, beep, beep. And like it brings it up and it'll say wash.
Wait a minute. You don't have to wash people's clothes at a laundromat, do you?
It's some you do.
Oh, they actually do it for you? When I hear laundromat, I think like you go in and just like use the machine.
We have two
drop
here in town
$1.50.
that actually do it, where you can just drop your clothes off and they'll wash it and come pick them up and they're all pressed and starched and all that.
I don't think I could do that.
I couldn't either.
Laundry with somebody
That's
else.
Weird. I've only experienced that once in my life, and that was when I was in New York. So
I don't want anybody washing and folding my unmentionables.
Yeah, it's super weird. So yeah, like you have to sit there and like pick up the laundry basket, put the laundry basket in the washer, wait till the washer gets done, move the stuff from the washer to the dryer, wait till the dryers get done, take it over to the folding table.
So that feels totally intentional to make like this mundane
task. Yeah,
task
you're like, I hate this job.
That's
Let
making
me
no
build
money.
My arcade.
Yeah, okay.
And it's funny because you can slack off on the laundromat part of it, and you don't get paid as much because people are mad that you're like taking forever to do their crap. But but you start with like 3 arcade machines. By the way, there are 35 of them that you can unlock and buy,
and they're all like
and they are
functional.
Oh yeah, dude, that's the best part about this is every arcade that you can buy in this, you can legitimately play.
Oh, that's cool.
And is it like a legit good arcade game, or are they?
They're okay, so they're all knockoffs.
Okay.
So there's like Wish.com Mr. Driller, Wish.com Outrun. There's a Pac-Man clone that's Grand Theft Auto stylized.
Grand Theft Auto Pac-Man? There's your movie idea. Let's just go with that.
Yeah. So like you drive around in the car and the cops are chasing you, you're picking up the dollars on the street. And when the cops hit you, it says busted and you have to run away from the cops back to a car. Sounds
kind of fun.
It is actually kind of fun. But the problem is because you're still running this laundromat. So you'll be playing like the games in the back and all of a sudden beep, beep, beep. And I'm like, oh man, I lost control of the game. Oh, I died. Crap.
Oh, because it automatically like goes to your watch?
Yeah. The watch.
Even if you're in the middle of a game?
Yeah. So, but all the little arcade games are fun. There's a video air hockey table. So I've been playing a lot of those and more slacking off on my duties in the laundromat.
So does your dad get mad like if the laundry stuff doesn't do well, even if the arcade's making money?
It's funny because like it sounds like your dad's like this really rich guy, and he's embarrassed by you essentially because you get emails from him. He's like, oh, well, you didn't finish your degree, so I guess I'll just put you in charge of this laundromat in the bad part of town, and you can do what you will with it, but don't make any changes to it, and don't get rid of the laundry machines, and don't buy more arcade machines.
This just sounds like these emails would be triggering for some people.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, well, sometimes they're voicemails, too.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm having a blast with this because the other thing is like there's empty storefronts all around your store.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can knock the walls down and expand into those, but you have to forge your dad's signature.
Oh, so you're actually like paying for the extra rental space. You're not like just taking over somebody else's business.
Oh yeah, because at the end of every day, it's like laundromat income, arcade income, maintenance fees.
Mm-hmm.
So it does become, and you can actually you can adjust the difficulty sliders on these games. You can adjust like what people are paying to play your games. You can constantly rearrange the layout. So say like one game is really popular and doing well, you can move it next to a game that's not doing well. So as people are waiting to play that game, they can play the game next to it.
Oh.
There's a pretty ingenious little business simulator on top of an arcade simulator, on top of a laundromat simulator.
Interesting.
Like, this game goes deep. And
I feel like this is a training video game for you to get your video game museum off the ground. Like,
and so like every morning when you come in, you have to like empty all the change things.
Right.
You have to pick up the trash that people have left because the arcade side of it closes at 11 p.m. But the laundromat is like a 24-hour laundromat, so people like leave like pizza boxes and everything like all on the floor.
Who goes and eats pizza at a laundromat?
Well, I mean, if you're sitting there for like 2 hours, man.
I guess.
Or like you have to scrape the gum off things.
Ew.
Ugh.
Or the best, every now and then your watch will say WC and start beeping at you.
WC for water closet?
Somebody clogged the pooper.
Oh.
And you have to like go and like plunge the toilet. But when you do these meaningless like tasks, it gives you like arcade like flashes and noises because they're like all little mini games. So you're fighting the toilet, and the toilet has an HP meter. Dude,
so it's like
this game is a blast, by the way.
It's like Scott Pilgrim,
kind of,
stuff
yeah,
going on in the background.
Or like every time you take a bag of trash out, it like pauses, the thing opens up, and it gives you a bullseye, and you have to like throw the trash into the bullseye.
So everything is a mini game.
Oh yeah.
So here's what we're gonna do, CB. You're gonna start your video game museum, business, and I'm gonna have just a room in the back to start a laundry business, just a really small laundry business, and we'll just like retcon this whole game.
Oh, I legitimately want to find somebody who's built this in real life because it's hilarious. Scott, you need to play this game.
Okay.
Because you're gonna find this game like in the beginning, knowing you're gonna be like,
because I'm gonna have to do everything on the checklist.
Yeah, it's a very check. Oh, and every day there's like new tasks for you to do.
Oh man!
But there's like knockoff eBay in this as well that you can buy stuff off of.
Feebay.
It's Pound Bay. So like
Pound Bay.
It's the pound symbol because apparently this game takes place in the UK.
Alyssa's mind is in the gutter right now.
Oh. Didn't think about that one.
Alyssa did.
I did, yeah.
You can see it in her face. Yeah.
But yeah, like legitimately, I think you would actually enjoy this game because the more arcade games that you unlock, like you're creating like this little arcade that you could play. It's like a more fun version of Action 52. Like you have this laundry list of games that you have available to you, but you're like, I'm having fun playing these.
Laundry list.
Do you get to like? Do you actually see people like go up to the machines and play them and like enjoy them?
That is the one thing I wish they took out of this game.
Why?
Is so all the NPCs, as you will, that you see, they like stand in the same positions in the laundromat, but as you move close to them, they just kind of like blink out of existence.
Oh yeah.
So you don't have to fight for the machine.
Yeah, it's just like you'll see some guy sitting there playing the arcade machine. You like go to empty the change thing, and all of a sudden he's gone.
I think it would be cooler if they actually kept it there because like, you got to wait your turn, or if you could like put a quarter on the machine to like reserve your place.
See, like there's a few things that they could have done to like make this even better.
Yeah,
but I'm still just having an absolute blast with this game. I probably played it for like 6 hours today.
Holy cow!
Yeah, I've already made 2 expansions on my arcade.
So needless to say, you're recommending it.
Yeah, I actually I think Alyssa,
Mm-hmm.
you liked my like house flipper
I did.
recommendation.
Yes.
You should probably check this out.
I mean, it sounds really fun.
Yeah, you'll have a blast with this.
A cruising blast.
Yeah, actually more Outrun, and I think I just unlocked like a Splatterhouse style game too. So yeah, I'm looking.
I'm
forward
intrigued.
To it. All right, well, since I pitched something new for you, Scott, and I know you have this new fancy piece of hardware called a Steam Deck.
Yes, I do.
You've been playing this game called Video Game Fables.
Yeah, I decided to jump into a Steam game or a PC game that did not need the power of a Steam Deck. And I'm not saying that negatively. It's just that the graphics in Video Game Fables are intentionally, very low poly. I don't know if you got a chance to check out the trailer.
I did a little bit. Like it does. To me, this game like almost looks like I wish it was in VR.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if I want to play an RPG in VR. Like this is like a legit turn-based.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
game.
when you're looking at a lot of the pixelized characters, I almost want them to just be in VR.
Yeah, I could see that. If for those that haven't got a chance to watch the trailer, if you remember, do you remember 3D Dot Game Heroes on PS3?
I do.
That was like a Zelda clone.
Yeah.
Like imagine the characters that look like that, but they're all just stark colors. You know what I mean? Like, you know how like in 3D Dot Game Heroes, they almost had like a texture to the voxels a little bit. There's no texture to the voxels in this, and I'm not saying that in a negative way because the developer clearly was going for that vibe. But this is a straight up JRPG where you play as these characters that have just very little animations and they kind of walk like South Park style. And but the thing that you're gonna dig about this game, CB, is that it is very fourth wall breaking in terms of it being a video game and making lots of video game references. I am very, very early on in this game. I plan on diving deep into it a little more this week, much like the other game that I was playing. So, but I wanted to at least get a word out because the developer actually sent us a code, and I wanted to say thank you to them if they are listening. So I will talk about it again next week, but it is very cute. The humor is very tongue-in-cheek. The video game references are there, and the turn-based combat is very akin to Octopath Traveler, but not as complex. You know, you got the card system where you can see who's coming next and everything like that. So they've got that like, not as intricate, but it's not Paper Mario either. You know what I mean? Like I love Paper Mario, don't get me wrong, but Paper Mario is a very, very simplistic, watered down version of a JRPG. Whereas this feels like more in between a Paper Mario and Mario RPG, where I consider Mario RPG to be like a big square soft thing. Yeah. This one kind of falls neatly in the middle there. But don't let the graphics dissuade you from checking this out because when you first fire it up, you might be thinking, what am I playing? But it's very clever. It's very clever and worth checking out. So Video Game Fables, I will talk about it again more next week. I just barely scratched the surface. So
from the trailer, though, I did like the one running gag when people are behind bars. I'm like, why don't you just turn sideways?
Yeah, I like that moment too.
Yeah, because they're all like Paper Mario style, flat but made of voxels. It's they're very aware that it's a video game about video games, and there's lots of references that fans of classic games will appreciate. Nice. So it is PC. I'm playing it on Steam Deck just because I knew it was I wanted something to play on my Steam Deck, and I'd rather play it there than on my I don't think I can play it on Mac anyway, but I don't have a PC to play it on. So Video Game Fables, recommend checking it out if you like JRPGs.
Okay.
And CB, you've also been playing a game called Roll the Cat, which sounds a little concerning to me. Are you actually rolling cats in this game?
You are.
Are the cats okay?
You broke her brain.
The cats are okay.
Okay.
You're rolling them into bed.
Oh, okay. That sounds really cute. Okay.
So
I thought you were like bowling them or something like that. Like,
so you play as a character who has some cats, sugar, jelly, and charcoal.
Aw.
Early on, you only have sugar and jelly, but sugar and jelly don't like to stay in their beds, and they like to take up space on the floor, and they're kind of chunky boys. So you, as their owner, just need to keep putting them back in bed. And it is a puzzle-based game where
yeah, it reminds me
you
like
have
Voxel.
a grid layout. Yeah, it is very much like Voxel, but you have to roll them back into their beds so they can sleep for the night.
Is it because they're so chonky?
Yeah, because you can't walk over them. You can't push the cats over each other. They're just large floofs.
So they just basically took a Voxel type game.
It's Voxel with fat cats. But like as the game goes on, there's like little cutscenes where they just have these fat cats in the apartment, and like there's one that's like, oh, well now you have a shadow creature that's in your house, and like the light shines on it. It's like, oh, it's just charcoal. She's black and she's fat, knocking things off your desk. Put her back into bed. Roll the fat cat. And it's just so funny because the animation of these cats rolling over, they're just like, like it is hilarious to see the animation for this.
Are you digging it?
But I beat it already.
Oh, wow. How long was it?
30 minutes for 1,000 achievement points.
30 minutes?
30 minutes. It was $3.99.
Wow, that sounds like a Raid-a-Lake.
It is a Raid-a-Lake game.
Yeah. There you go.
So, but yeah, it is adorbs.
It sounds like it. I mean, 30 minutes, that's short.
Well, so it's 30 minutes to get the full 1,000 achievement points.
So it's even shorter to not get the...
Well, no, like there's more levels beyond it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But if you just want the achievement points, 30 minutes.
Okay.
My guess is, this being this type of game, you're going to acquire more cats. Towards the end, you're just going to be rolling like 10 fat cats around a room. Just be like, oh, these chunky boys. Stop feeding
So heavy
them.
you can't even pick them up.
Can't believe we're talking about a game called Roll the Cat right now.
Hey, man. Nothing but the most premium games.
There you go. All right. Well, real quick before we get to our topic, want to do some quick housekeeping again. I want to remind everybody about our places that you can follow The Gaming Outsider if you'd like to join in the conversations with some other fellow gamers. Facebook.com/groups/The GoCast is where our Facebook community is. We got some new members to say hello to. We've got Juan Torres, Christian Gonzalez II, Nicholas Check, and Mr. David Page. David Page is a fellow friend of...
Hello, Mr. Page.
Nicholas Check, actually, I met in line when I was in line for Coheed and Cambria.
Nice.
My buddy Mike that I was with me loved to make fun of me because whenever I get in line with anybody and we find anything in common, I wind up bringing up games, and then I pitch him the podcast and give him a card and say, come listen to us. And he joined the group. So hope you like the show, Nick. I haven't actually talked to him since we were in line. I didn't see him the rest of the night, but also our Discord community is live and thriving. You can find a link for that in the show notes of this episode. And we'd also love it if you dropped us a review. We haven't gotten a review in a long time, so please do us a favor. Head over to Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to the show and drop us a review. We do read those on the show. If you're reviewing somewhere and I don't see it, let me know. I don't even know how to find reviews on Spotify if they exist, or Stitcher or whatever, so maybe I need to do a little bit more research. But if you posted one, let me know so I can get it on the show for you. Also, our website is thegamingoutsider.com, and you can find all our episodes there, as well as all of our written content, including quite a few reviews we posted this week. First off, Autobahn's Police Simulator 3, which was completed by Sean Coates. Rel stopped by to do a review for Teardown. You can read Alyssa's review of As Dusk Falls on the website, as well as Kevin's review of Skeleton Crew. And then Alyssa also did another review for us on South of the Circle, which she really liked that game quite a bit. I think she gave it an 8.5 out of 10.
I did.
So be sure to check out thegamingoutsider.com for those and all of our reviews. We would appreciate it. With that, let's go ahead and jump into our From the Outside In topic. The future of E3 may be up in the air, but we've had our fair share of glorious media moments over the years, and they're not all secluded to E3. There's been all kinds of crazy announcements over the years, from digital streams, Gamescom, PAX, and many other media outlets, and I wanted to talk about our favorite media moments, from the incredible to the hilarious. I've been looking forward to doing this topic, and I was surprised we did not get as many comments on this one, because I just have a ton of things that stand out to me, and I could not wait to hear your guys' answer. So I'm going to start with Alyssa. Alyssa, what have been some of your favorite moments in gaming media?
I feel like I'm going to steal someone's answer with this one. But I loved it when Keanu was at E3 and someone in the audience yelled, "You're breathtaking!" And he looked at them and pointed and went, "You're breathtaking!" Announcing Cyberpunk 2077 and that he was Johnny Silverhand in it.
That whole thing was so cool. And I know I'm biased because I was there.
I love Keanu.
Yeah. I feel like that was like the peak, not the peak, but it was like the slow climb of everyone just adoring Keanu Reeves way more than they ever did from like the Matrix and Bill and Ted days. It was like the perfect timing for Microsoft to do that. And because the way they revealed it, if you remember, is they were just playing the trailer for Cyberpunk 2077, and then Johnny Silverhand is talking, and then he kind of lowers into frame so you see his face, and it was revealed that Keanu Reeves was playing that character, and that was mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But then Keanu himself walked out on stage, and everybody just lost their minds. It was
Yeah, it was an incredible moment.
And yes, that was one of mine, but that's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I have plenty of moments to share, so that was a good one too, because especially if you go back and watch the press conference of that, you can actually see Zach and I in the audience.
What? I gotta go watch it again.
Zach with his pen and paper.
Zach with his pen and paper, and me staring at the camera trying to read the teleprompter. I look like a total goober, like I'm staring at the camera. I'm really not looking at the camera. I'm looking at the teleprompter to try to take notes. It is, if you go to that press conference, I don't remember where the timestamp is, Alyssa, but if you go watch it, it is when Phil Spencer is like in the aisle in between the audience, more or less. Mm-hmm. And it was like right about when he was talking about a partnership with Atlas, I believe, or some game from Atlas. And over on the left-hand side, you can see Zach and I sitting there, which was funny because I'm getting text messages in the middle of that press conference and "We see you on TV." So yeah, that one is not just because I was there, but that was such a freaking cool moment. And to cap it off with him doing the whole "you're breathtaking" thing was just top Keanu. Yeah, it really was.
Good guy Keanu.
Seriously, it was good. What else?
Well, this one wasn't as like joyful, but when they did the announced trailer for the PS5 pre-order, they showed, Horizon Forbidden West, Final Fantasy 16, they're saying these are all coming to PS5 and you can pre-order it starting tomorrow. And then an hour later, Walmart leaked the pre-order link and everyone went crazy. And that was a fun, several hours of trying to get a PS5 pre-order, but I finally snagged one at midnight from Amazon.
Oh, you did get one that night?
Yeah. As soon as Amazon put up their pre-order link, because they were one of the only retailers to actually honor the 12 p.m. pre-order, or 12 a.m. pre-order link, not posted early, I went on Amazon as soon as it hit midnight and got one. But I think they were sold out pretty soon after that.
Yeah, it took me a while to get one.
Just the chaos of the PS5 and Xbox Series S and X pre-orders was...
Ooh. Yeah, we were F5ing like crazy for... I started F5 in like 10 minutes before the window opened just in case.
Oh, I did that with the Xbox one, and it still took me a little bit to get an Xbox.
Yeah, same here. It's a good one. Did you have any others?
The last one I could really think about, which is iconic, is I cannot do this justice, but the Ridge Racer moment, I forget the guy's name, and that's a cardinal sin. He goes on, and was it before the PS3 announcement? And he's like, Ridge Racer.
I don't remember that one. I'm gonna have to go YouTube that one.
I feel like if you heard it, you'd know. But it's like
Ridge I know
Yeah.
the like how he says it.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And then, like,
I don't know
people,
if I saw
it
that
just
one
kind of
live.
blew up at that time. People just kept saying it over and over again.
Yeah. It became the what's up?
Ridge Racer.
There you go. CB, we were talking before the show that you said I would know which one you were talking about, and I really have no idea which one you're going to talk about.
$2.99.
$2.99. That was PlayStation, right?
Yeah, it was PlayStation stomping on Sega.
Yeah, because they had talked about they were releasing the Sega Saturn.
Yep.
And they went into this whole presentation and said it's going to be available for what, $4.99?
$3.99.
It was $3.99 at launch. And who was that came out? Was it Kaz Hirai?
I think it was, but he's like, I'm trying to remember who it was, but he just like literally walks on stage, walks up, $2.99. That's all he says. And just walks off stage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's shade. That's like, oh, that's harsh.
Yeah. I'm going to jump in and couple that one with one that's on my list, which is when Sony came in after Xbox One did their whole presentation when they're trying to make Xbox One, a media console and had to always be online and there was no backwards compatibility. And then Sony releases a video of like, here's how you can share games on a PlayStation. And they've got the two guys and one hands the game to the other guy. And that was the end of the video.
Yeah, that was great.
That was
Sony's
awesome.
always been really good at just throwing down shade at announcements.
Yeah.
So I give them that. But in that era, like Microsoft definitely like to shoot themselves in the foot. Hey, we have an offline console.
It's called the Xbox 360.
It's like,
yeah, Don Matrick is it Don Matrick?
Yeah.
Is not at Xbox anymore.
Thank
I think
God.
that was
Phil.
Yeah.
Bless you, Phil Spencer.
Yeah, right. What a douchebag thing to say too.
Yeah,
like we have an offline console. This old piece of hardware. Go play that one.
Live in the past.
Children. Yeah. It's just
what a tool.
Yeah.
As far as some of like my favorites,
mm-hmm.
the Bethesda stream, man.
From this year?
Which one?
For Fallout.
Oh, for Fallout.
76.
Oh,
70. I forgot about that
Dude,
one.
when we were all just like glued to our PCs and for 24 hours.
24
yeah.
hours.
Just watching this bobblehead. What are we going to do next, man?
Like that was so. I was at school. It was the last day of school when that thing started,
and I was
cleaning
texting
my
you constantly because I watched almost the whole damn thing, and I'm like, Scott, they did something.
Like a balloon would fall from the ceiling. We're like, a balloon fall. What does that mean? There's gonna be hot air balloons. Like we were just like we had like a whole chat thread going of like, what's going on with Fallout? This is amazing.
I was literally sitting there with my like screenshotting everything, putting it in the chat thread. I'm like, they did something else. A guy walked on the screen.
Yeah.
For those that missed this,
yeah,
Bethesda put up a live stream, and it was just Vault Boy bobblehead with a white background,
and there was a watch in front of it.
24 hours.
I remember this.
Yeah.
And like at first, like everybody's like, "What is going on?" Like we thought that they were just going to start a press conference, and somebody was going to sit next to it and start doing things. But then they just started doing random things in the background, or it started. I think it was like a noise. Like somebody made a noise in the background. We're like,
eventually the white screen turned into a "Please stand by."
Well, that was at like 23:49.
Oh, was that what it was? So we're like, oh, it's happening. It's happening.
Because at first it was just a white screen, and we thought it was just a still image.
Mm-hmm.
And then like a noise happened in the background. Like, no, this is live.
And then eventually, didn't they put a watch in front of it?
Well, they put a watch at night. They shut the light off and they laid the Vault Tech bobblehead down like he was sleeping.
Yeah, and we watched that thing nonstop.
Dude, it was the most genius piece of marketing I think Bethesda's ever done, because everybody was glued to their screens for 24 hours.
Yeah,
and because this was like during E3,
mm-hmm.
So there was other announcements going on.
Well, it was just right before E3, wasn't it? It wasn't like officially E3
but
season.
They had those like smaller shows at the beginning.
Right.
And Bethesda's just like, nope, we're going to stomp on everybody with this random stream. Because we watched that forever.
Yeah, and we were all doing the theorizing, like we're doing the Charlie Cox. What's that meme where he's like got, red string everywhere, and he's like got his hands out, like this all connects, and we're like trying to guess what it was, and then it was. I like at one point, like blue and yellow confetti fell from the screen. And
well, the guy like walked through the background and just threw it at the camera, and then just kept walking.
Yep, it was glorious.
It was funny. Like you can look up, like somebody actually went through and clipped out every single interaction that happened and like pieced them all together. So to me, I was like, that was brilliant.
I wonder if that's like lightning in a bottle type of thing where you can't get away with it again.
You could never do it again.
No.
Like, but that's the thing is I love when Bethesda does stuff like that because everybody stops and takes notice.
Yep. I literally had it on my smartboard in my classroom while I was cleaning my classroom to, pack up for summer. And I was just so excited because number one, I was on summer break, for the year, and a new Fallout game was coming that I've since never played.
Well, legitimately, I've loved all of the Fallout reveals.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you get to hear Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
Which war never changes.
Yeah.
Love those.
Great pull, man. I didn't even think about that one until you just said it.
I didn't either.
I didn't have that one on my list.
Oh.
That was a good one.
And then my personal favorite, because it's so near and dear to my heart, the first time hearing my voice on the radio for R2V2.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's a good one. I actually played that commercial for my buddy that was and his wife that were in town from Portland because they'd never heard it before. And I was telling them the story. You go ahead and tell the story.
Well, I mean, like the fact that we recorded this commercial and we were driving around town handing out flyers. And they never told us when this commercial was going to be on. So the very first time this thing airs, I'm literally sitting next to Scott. And Scott,
we're like
Scott was
Taco
focused
Bell
on the road. Yeah. Like he's just like, I'm driving. And I hear this music and I'm like,
hey, gamers.
And I reach over and I like literally turn up the stereo, which by the way, Scott hates if it's not on a 5 or a 0.
Oh.
So I'd been annoying Scott all day. I'd be like 3. And so he saw me reaching for that. So all of a sudden he's like breaks his concentration. And then he heard it too. And he like literally turns and looks at me. He was like,
we literally pulled into like the Taco Bell parking lot just to sit and listen to the commercial. And then I think I took a video of you like,
and I'm sitting here just like, yeah,
that's
me and you.
That was cool. We did that in one take too.
Yeah.
They were actually like impressed.
Their sound engineer was like, yeah, that was pretty impressive, guys. You guys could read copy like nobody's business.
Yeah,
like,
I
know. Would you like to pay us for our time?
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Scott was like legitimately trying to get a job out of this too. He's like, I can come in and read commercials for you guys whenever you want. I'll do it real cheap, I promise.
Yeah, true story. Anything I could do for an extra $1, man.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Any time that we've sat down and watched a press conference, like to me, those are always memorable.
Yeah.
Especially this last Xbox one, because Scott got to watch me geek out like a crazy person.
Yeah. I liked it when it was
Space Fallout.
I liked it when it was the three of us, all three of us doing that at E3, not last year, but the year before. And like, just kind of like, because, people don't know like what we do when we're covering those things. Like we're like scrambling, trying to find links so that we can post them. And then Alyssa's got like the website thing up where she's creating a website article on all the coverage. And I mean, it's just fun coordinating all that stuff together. I absolutely loved it. It's one of my favorite things about E3. So
yeah,
that's a good call. All right, I'll go. My first one is My Body Is Ready.
Oh,
do you guys remember this?
I do.
Geez.
So for people that don't remember, Reggie Fils-Aimé, from Nintendo, at E3 2007 was on stage talking about the Wii Fit, and he was pretending like he didn't know what the Wii Fit was, and was having one of the Nintendo people like explain it to him, and Reggie's standing on the stage with no shoes on because he's going to stand on this balance board, And the guy says, all right, Reggie, are you ready? And they were talking about like what this game will do to your body. And Reggie just goes, my body is ready. And it's just turned into this meme of like this creepy picture of Reggie Fils-Aimé saying, my body is ready. That,
take me.
I remember when that happened, dude. I thought even at the time it was hilarious. So, yeah, my body is ready is the first one I thought of when I did that one. Also, the Kinect demonstration at E3. I want to say this was 2015. No. Kinect, like a Xbox 360 Kinect.
Oh,
if you remember,
yeah.
the guy like went up stage and said, "Hey, have you ever wondered what the bottom of an Avatar shoe looks like?" And then he like stands up to like show, and then the avatar on the screen just like wigs out and like sort of does the thing where you can see the bottom of his shoe. But that wasn't the most embarrassing part for me. The most embarrassing part was when they were demoing I think it was Kinect Sports game where like all these dodgeballs are coming at you and you're supposed to deflect them with your body. And they had someone on stage doing it just in wild, crazy motions. And that became like a GIF for like forever. Yes, I said GIF, not GIF. Forever of like, hey, this is what the Kinect can do. And then just this flailing arms and legs going all over the place. I think that one stood out for me.
By the way, that was 2010.
2010?
Yeah.
That was only 12 years ago. Wow. That seems a lot longer to me. Wow. Didn't they also do like a pets game? There was a
Connectimals?
Connectimals.
Yeah.
No, Connectimals.
Connectimals. Yeah. That's what I said.
No, you
That's
said
what I said. Booty
collectibles.
traps.
My body is ready.
That was a cringeworthy presentation as well. Let's see. I already talked about Sony, talking about how you can share games. The original reveal for The Last of Us, the first time they showed any gameplay for that game, I don't even remember that trailer, but they did. It was a cool trailer, but at the very end, there's a moment where Joel cocks a shotgun or has a shotgun, and one of the other humans is on the ground, and right as Joel cocks it and aims at him, the guy says, no, wait. And when all you hear is the cocking noise, and then it fades to black, and it says Last of Us in black letters. That was one, and just the crowd's reaction, because there wasn't enough time for them to react right away. So there was this audible gasp, and then everyone just exploded in applause. Could not wait to play that. So I that one stood out for me a lot. I went back and rewatched that one multiple times because sometimes the crowd really makes these reveals a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's super good. Speaking of crowd reactions, the first time they revealed Twilight Princess on the Wii, which it had been 5 years since the last Zelda game was released, and people were itching to play a Zelda game on the Wii because it had motion controls. You know what I mean? Like, who doesn't want to it didn't wind up being that great, but the game is good, but it wasn't fun like swinging the sword. You just wanted to press a button. But we hadn't seen an adult Link in a Zelda game since Ocarina of Time. It was always like Wind Waker, where you had like this cartoonish character. We hadn't really had like a, adult-ish Link. So when they did that trailer, it was just the crowd's reaction was like, finally we get our Zelda game we want. And then to top it all off, Miyamoto comes out wearing a Master Sword and a Hylian shield. It was just obviously I'm biased. I'm a big Zelda fan, but that was a very, very powerful moment. You guys remember that one?
No.
I do not.
No? Go look it up. Because it was pretty cool. My next one was the first time they actually revealed the gameplay. Maybe it wasn't even the gameplay, but just when they announced that Final Fantasy VII Remake was happening. It was actually a thing. Yeah, that's what it was, because they had talked about it possibly being a thing, but then we didn't hear anything for like 3 years. And then they finally showed it, and they showed just a very brief glimpse of gameplay. I lost my mind. Because
Yeah, I remember this one.
That was incredible, because we actually saw 3D footage of Cloud swinging the Buster Sword all over the place with the music in the background. I don't think I've ever been more pumped for a game from a press conference as I was watching that one, because I just give it to me now. I could not wait.
Do you remember when they did that the first time though?
Well, they just showed the logo.
No. When they made that Final Fantasy VII Remake section that was a tech demo and everybody thought we were getting it.
Oh, yeah, because it was a playable...
I was like the ultimate kick in the nuts. They were like, look at what we did. We remastered part of Final Fantasy VII, but you're never going to get it because it's a tech demo only, suckers.
Yeah.
I was just I was like, you jerks. I really hate you right now.
But wasn't that this when they actually did finally reveal that it was a real thing? Didn't they also reveal that same press conference that The Last Guardian was coming and Shenmue 3 were coming, which were both like, those are kind of like the equivalent of Half-Life 3, or any Valve game with a 3 behind it is coming. Those games were never thought to ever happen. All three of those in the same press conference. That Sony press conference just was like one of the best in terms of giving us what we wanted. It was awesome. So I got two more, and I promise I'll shut up.
After that, I have one after yours because I remembered one.
Oh, go ahead.
Do you remember the original PlayStation 2 reveal?
I don't.
I was too young.
Oh man! So it was a commercial where like this guy's like doing all this crazy stuff, and it was all live action. And it PS9. Like zooms out, and this guy's like holding a ball that says PS9.
PS9.
And he's like, and it all starts here, PS2. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like everybody was so confused by it, but you're like, the PlayStation's getting a sequel. The PlayStation, because that was like the first like numbered console.
Yeah.
And so it was like, oh my god, the PlayStation's getting a sequel? Like, what are we doing? But apparently that we were all sitting here like, what's the PS9?
Yeah.
I'm like,
I remember that now.
And it's funny because with that commercial, like it reminded me of like Xbox, like Microsoft's terrible naming of all their Xbox.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. We don't know how to name things.
Yeah, it's not as bad as the Wii U.
God. I legitimately still say to this day that if they had named that anything other than the Wii U, it would have done better.
Yeah. Although they did name the Wii, and that sold pretty well. So,
which I don't remember if you remember how big of a meme that was. Like, oh, play with your Wii.
I remember that.
And everybody's like, why?
And then
why
the
would you name it
Wiimote,
this?
Play with your Wiimote.
Yeah, play with your Wii.
Yeah.
Look, Mom, I'm swinging my Wii. Like,
if you're gonna play with your Wii, do it in your bedroom.
Yeah, it's almost as bad as the that Kmart commercial where you ship your pants.
You ship your
Yeah.
pants. I shipped my pants twice yesterday.
I shipped my 90. God.
Are we gonna need an explicit tag on this one?
For whoever's reviewing this, like, I'm not swearing. I'm saying ship. SHIP.
Yeah, there's a P.
There's two P's and an ED. I shipped my pants.
Yeah, but remember their marketing, it was SHIPT.
Oh, is that what it was?
Shipped.
Oh.
I don't know how they got it. Because that was on TV, wasn't it? Like that was
it was a Kmart.
Like,
it was like one of the last Kmart commercials.
Yeah. So good.
Man.
Maybe that was what their demise was.
No, they're like, we know we're going out. We're going out big, bro. Swing for the fences.
I got two more. The first one here is, if you remember when they announced GTA 4 was happening, Peter Moore comes out on stage, and the way that he unveiled to the world that GTA 4 was happening is he rolled up his sleeve and revealed his real tattoo with the GTA 4 logo, like on his arm. Like, just rolled it up and said, here, it kind of just slid it up, and there was his real tattoo. At least I believe it's a real tattoo of GTA 4.
I don't know.
Like the GTA with the Roman numeral 4 underneath it. And, people lost their minds because, GTA 3 was huge. And Andreas and, all that. So when they found out 4 was coming, that was a pretty big deal. I hope that tattoo is real. And my last one, you kind of talked about Fallout 76, but Fallout 4's reveal was really cool for me. Mostly because, and we never get this anymore, is, oh God, what's his name? Help me out. The guy from Bethesda.
Todd Howard?
Todd
Howard. Thank you. I'm having a brain fart. Todd Howard says, "Oh yeah, and by the way, you can buy it in 6 months. This game is coming out in 6 months."
Well, they did the same thing with Fallout 76.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I wish we had that more.
They just essentially did it with Starfield too. They're
what
like,
are you talking
look.
about? We're not going to see Starfield for another 3 years, man. What are you talking about? Oh no, they said that was coming out this year. Didn't
It's coming out this year. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because
I'll believe that. I'll believe that when I see it.
Like, we'd all been sitting here like, when's the release date? When's the release date? And they're like, oh, here's this 15 minutes of extended gameplay footage, and it's coming in November.
Yeah, we need more of that.
Kind of like what Todd Howard just does. I mean, he flat out told us. He's like, yeah, guess what? Elder Scrolls 6, it's coming, but like not for years.
Yeah. But stop doing that. Like we all know that another Elder Scrolls is coming. There's no way another Elder Scrolls is not coming. You don't need to tell us. You don't need to tell us a GTA 6 is coming. Because that'll be at the top of the charts for the next 15 years.
Actually, I do love what Outer Worlds 2 did.
Oh yeah.
Because that commercial is still brilliant.
Yeah.
We're like, we don't have a release date. The only thing we have is a name. And I'm like, bravo, guys. We all bought it, hook, line, and sinker.
Mm-hmm. But at least they're upfront and honest. I'm tired of like getting a title card like Metroid Prime 4. Like that was what, 4 years ago now? Feels like 4 or 5 years ago.
Metroid Prime 4 never gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I was so excited. So excited. So yeah, the Fallout 4 reveal was cool just because plus they gave us that like Fallout Shelter, that like mobile game.
Yeah.
I know you don't play mobile games, CB, but they
I did play the crap out of that.
Did you? Okay. So you don't play mobile games unless it's based on a property you already love.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you're gonna play Galaga Wars Plus then?
More than likely.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that was fun, guys. I enjoyed sharing that. I could have gone on. I kept finding more and more. I just
believe me, like that's me. I'm just like racking my brain, be like, oh man, remember when they did this?
Mm-hmm.
When Paul Rudd made a Nintendo commercial.
Oh man, like looking back and being like, when you're a kid, you don't know who Paul Rudd is. He didn't mean anything to us in the '90s, other than what's the As If? What's that movie?
Clueless.
Yeah,
he's a Donovan because he's Donovan.
Yeah, that was all we all really knew him from. And now looking back, like, dude, that's gonna be...
No, he's Baldwin. Baldwin, not Donovan. He's a Baldwin.
He's a Baldwin.
Yeah, because they back then the Baldwin brothers were hot, so they're like,
gotcha.
He's a total Baldwin.
Oh,
jeez. I actually, because you're old enough for this too, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
That George Orwell NES commercial.
I don't remember that.
Where the lady just comes running down and there's all the people staring at the giant screen. She throws the hammer, busts the TV, and it's like the Nintendo. Look that one up.
Remember that at all.
That was a brilliant commercial.
I miss Nintendo commercials. Now you're playing with power.
Oh, even the old Sega ones, like during the first console wars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I loved video game commercials were a big thing back then, and now they're just cinematic
trailers.
Cinematic. Yep, that's all it is anymore.
Back then they were like fun and ridiculous.
Yeah, it's kind of like how music videos were a thing back in the day.
Oh yeah,
music videos are just
Do you remember the Game Gear one where the guy hits himself over the head with a rock, and it's like, oh look, now it's moving.
Oh yeah, because it was like it was in color.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's in color now.
Yeah, yeah. And some of the media ads that were like in magazines and stuff.
Oh,
I think Zach talks about the one for Chrono Trigger coming to Nintendo DS, and it was just the words "Wake Up, Chrono," and that's it.
Yeah,
the entire page.
But like that's where I feel that like the video game industry has moved so far away and are so out of touch anymore.
Yeah, it's just let's make a movie trailer.
Yeah, movie trailer and go.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, nobody really reads print media anymore.
I do.
That's true.
You do, but it's not like you're going and buying like a lot of the magazines like people used to buy.
Yeah.
Well, that was all we had before the internet.
I would be buying them, but they stopped publishing stuff because they just,
They're not making any money.
they shuttered.
Yep.
Isn't EGM, or what's the one at GameStop? That they still
IGN?
Game Informer.
Game Informer.
Yeah, Game Informer.
It's still going.
But not for much longer.
Yeah,
because they're openly talking about moving to all digital now,
which makes me sad.
Yep, so it's the end of an era, folks.
I feel like anybody I know that has Game Informer just has them stacked in the back of their toilet. Like
Mine's
CB's
stacked in my
Sand.
bedroom. It's not behind the toilet, but
There's
they are
like
stacked.
Literally a pile behind me.
Wait, you're in front of your toilet?
No. I don't like magazines on top of my toilet. It's weird.
All right, well, let's go and see what the community thought. We'll start with Facebook. CB, let's start with you, man.
Andrew Jeck.
Mm-hmm.
The E3 with Aaron, Mr. Caffeine Priceman, and his doodly doodly doop definitely made the most memorable. I listen to other podcasts that use it for their soundbite for time travel.
Do you remember that?
Yep.
He actually wanted people to call him Mr. Caffeine, and he would just make like all these stupid jokes.
That was like the most cringy one that I've can remember, because I'm like, God, like this hurts to watch.
Let's see what it was like. Games of the past. Try to do the Wayne's World thing.
But like, as an executive owner of a company, if somebody walked out and was presenting for my company like that, it would just be like the old Gong Show. Like, here comes a guy, just sweep him off the stage. Like, no, go away.
The Gong Show. What? That's a pull.
Hey man, I'm old. Leave me alone.
Do you remember when Aisha Tyler used to do the press conferences for Ubisoft?
Yeah, when it was good.
Yeah.
I did not like Aisha Tyler. I thought she was trying way too hard.
Okay,
she would be up there and she was wearing a shirt that said "Girl Would."
Or like every single Ubisoft press conference that she did, that was always opening with "Just Dance."
Just Dance.
like, oh man, here comes the Ubisoft conference. I'm like, oh well, get ready for 2 minutes of Just Dance.
Yeah, had like dancing pineapples.
What was it? The same year that the Keanu Reeves thing happened, when they had like the big dance number that started outside and then moved in.
Oh yeah.
Or just like, God, like who cares?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Like, is that really selling Just Dance games? Don't people just buy those because
people are still like, they still make them.
I know.
But I'm like, well, how are you playing this now? Like, nobody has a Kinect. It's like,
no, but you can play them with the Joy-Cons.
You can use your cell phone and just hold it.
Yeah.
Why?
Because people like to dance, man.
Not good. No fun.
They like to express themselves with the art of dance.
Cool. I don't need a video game for it.
All right. Alyssa, why don't you read the next one?
Sean Coates writes, I'm picking E3 2013, which to me counts as both my favorite and the most ridiculous. This was the year that both Sony and Microsoft revealed their then upcoming new consoles, PS4 and Xbox One, respectively. If you recall, this was when Microsoft thought they could get away with implementing their always online policies and their ridiculous DRM policies on used games, to the point where you couldn't do something as simple as loan a game to your friend. Not to mention its focus on TV. To me, the missteps Microsoft took leading up to launch of the Xbox One nearly killed the brand. Topped off with a snide remark from Don Matrix saying, "We have an offline device, it's called Xbox 360.
Yep, we talked about that one.
Meanwhile, on the Sony side of things, they were looking at what was going on at Xbox and did the exact opposite with their presentation. No restrictions, no always online DRM, and oh yeah, the PS4 was literally $100 cheaper. And then twisting the knife even more with their how to share your games on PS4 video. It's funny that only one generation ago, the sentiment gamers had towards these companies is the exact opposite of how we feel about them now. Sony won that generation well before these machines hit store shelves. My second favorite moment, $299.
Yeah, sorry, Sean, we kind of stole your answer. Our bad.
Like, it is really sad that, like, Don Matrix smeared the face of Microsoft that bad.
Yeah.
Just like, oh.
Because they were on top. and they were, the big
Yeah,
dog
they
on
were-
top thinks they can do this stuff.
They were coming
and-
off a strong showing from the Xbox. Like the PS2 was still like the clear winner of the previous generation, but like, and then Xbox 360, like just swinging for the fences. And then the PS4, they're like, Don Matrix, like, no, screw it.
Mhm. Next comment comes from Izzy Casio. Izzy says, I gotta say, I agree with the Mr. Caffeine. I worked for GameStop for a while and attended a few managers conferences. Listening to that guy pitch the Imagine and Pet series was just hysterical. So yeah,
God.
go back and watch that again and tell me it's not awful.
The if I'm remembering correctly, the Imagine series, that's like the Ubisoft DS games.
Mm-hmm.
What a bunch of turds. God, I like, because I'm a collector, I have like all of them. But like, who in their right mind is like, I just want to meet some of the people that are buying some of these games. Like when they're brand new and like full price, I'm like, what is wrong with you? Why?
I mean, somebody's got to buy it.
Imagine ballet dancer. Super. What's next? Oh, imagine baby fashion designer.
Again, CB, sometimes you make me wish we did video podcasts because your facial expressions.
I'm very animated. Leave me alone. I'm angry.
Yeah.
It just
the look of you're cracking Alyssa up. She's like losing her crap right now.
I break Alyssa like every time I'm on.
All right, we got one more comment coming from Caramel Bear over on Discord. The last time I actually cared about E3 was 2013 because of the suspense regarding if PlayStation was going to pull the same decision of requiring the internet to play your games and share them physically. My wife and I were waiting in anticipation for the representatives to announce their decisions, and when the outcome was exactly what gamers needed to hear, my wife and I cheered and jumped in joy. 2013 E3 was suspenseful for that one reason, only because we needed to know if PlayStation was going to pull the same crap that Xbox is going to make. I know the Go Crew loves going to E3 and appreciates that environment, but as for myself and my wife, E3 has lost its luster after 2013, and we haven't felt the same excitement or energy to 2013 or before. I guess we're getting older, or who knows, but when E3 was announced, I remember saying, how about that? And then moved on with my day. I'm happy for those that are excited, but it's just not the same for me. Caramel Bear, I get what you're saying, totally. I will say that the excitement is still there, more because of the unknown. I still get excited because I never know what's going to happen. I'm waiting for that 2013 moment. I mean, 2013, was awesome because of the anticipation of knowing what was going to be announced, but not how it was going to be announced. But I go into every E3 now going, I have no idea what they're going to talk about, and I just can't wait. I hope to be surprised. So even though I'm not always, it doesn't always pay off, for me, I don't always feel like I get that super excitement. The anticipation and the excitement surrounding the event still just gets me going because, it's one of the only ones that we have access to here because we don't get to go to PAX. We don't get to go to Gamescom because that's in Germany.
The Tokyo Game Show.
I mean, we can watch this, but they're always at, times that are very difficult for us to watch them live.
Well,
so
for some of us.
Well, for some of us that like to sleep, not wizards that like
wizard. Actually, somebody should actually contact Blake Harris though and have him do like Console Wars Part 2. But I want to hear all the behind the scenes stuff leading up to the 2013 E3.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's got to be a fascinating story.
Yeah.
Just listening
to know what happened.
The Sony execs and then Don Metric and the Xbox execs.
Like, how did they... Like, that couldn't have been a scripted thing that Matrix said, right? That has to be something that he
had
just
to be an off-the-cuff, like a snide remark.
And I want to hear what the people said to him when he went backstage and said, what are you thinking about, man?
Because at the time, wasn't Bill Gates still like in charge of everything?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Can you imagine how pissed he would be?
Yeah.
He's like, you did what?
Oh, man, the story behind like the original Xbox getting made and how they were trying to pitch Bill Gates on it and how mad he got at meetings and then turn around. You can watch that Xbox documentary that's on.
Oh yeah, that was YouTube. A gem.
That was pretty interesting. So, but yeah, Caramel Bear, I totally get what you're coming from. But I think Zach even mentioned this on the Discord post. Being there and actually working the event is a dream come true for people like me and Zach and CB, who will hopefully get to do it now that it's coming back. Now you put that finger away. Put that finger away. No, but like being there and just being around it and being surrounded by people that care about games as much as you do, and actually feel like you're doing something for a job, even though we didn't get paid to do that whatsoever. That was very exciting, especially with those huge booths. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the video of me and Zach going through the Resident Evil 2 booth, where they like set up a haunted house to look like Raccoon City's police department. Just stuff like that was so freaking cool. And then get to meet all these developers, like even smaller developers. Alessandro Biolo, the developer from Brazil. We had to talk to him about his game. Just stuff like that was just so much fun. So
seeing the leaked photos of the Cyberpunk set.
Yep. As it was like being built. I remember that being oh.
Yeah, I was like, bro, cool. What is this?
That's cool. All right, well that's it for the topic. That was a lot of fun. Thank you so much everybody that wrote in, and to CB and Alyssa for making that a fun topic. I was hoping that was going to be a good one, and it worked out. At least for me, I had fun talking about it. Next week's topic it's to be determined. Although I'm monkeying with the idea of bringing a guest on to talk about basically toxicity in the online gaming world. I've got a special guest that wants to come talk to us about that. So I'm not going to promise it just in case I can't pull it off, but I'm going to try. But stay tuned to the social media outlets for that. We are looking forward to putting something together there. But that is going to do it for this episode of the Gaming Outsider. CB, before we get out of here, do you have any parting words or recommendations for the listeners?
No, man, that's been pretty quiet.
You've been working a lot. You've been crazy busy at work.
I've been working a lot. Actually, no. Did Zach talk about Sandman yet?
No, but he's going to be really mad that you beat him to
got there first. Sandman. Wow. What a show.
Yeah.
It is stellar.
I heard it's shot gorgeously.
I've heard that as well.
It is beautiful. I legitimately was worried about this. But bless him. That was a legitimately good piece of television.
Nice.
Also, somebody brought up the other day, but I saw that movie Fall.
Oh, you did see it? The one where they like climbing the big tower or whatever?
Yeah.
Is it good? I don't understand how you make a full-length movie out of that.
There's a weird twist that I didn't see coming.
Okay.
But overall, wait till it hits like free streaming or something. Okay. It's not worth seeing in the theaters.
I heard that they did something with what do they do with it? They changed the faces. What do they call that? Deep fake? That they use a lot of deep fake in that movie for some reason. I read an article about. I didn't read the whole thing. I just more or less read the headline. But
yeah, I don't.
Oh no! What it was is they used deep fake because it was a rated R movie and they wanted it to be PG-13. So they actually deep faked it and redubbed the lines to remove a lot of the F-bombs and stuff.
Oh.
I think. Could be wrong, but
yeah, anyway, it's just okay.
Well, CB, as always, thanks for joining me, man. I'm sure I'll be seeing you next week in person. We got a lot to do.
You'll see me tomorrow in person.
Tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and then a bunch of days next week to get some Patreon stuff knocked out. So.
Can't get enough of me, man.
Never can. Alyssa, how about you? Anything you want to tell people about?
I've been watching this anime called The Case Study of Vanitas, which it's been out for a year or two now. But I don't know why I didn't watch it sooner, because it's about vampires, and I love vampires. But it's not your typical kind of vampire story. This has a lot of different elements to it. It's got incredible action sequences. It really centers on the friendship between these two male vampires. There's nothing romantic going on with them or anything like that. It's just they're purely friends, and how they both struggle and accept themselves as vampires. There's romance. There are really humorous moments. There are emotional moments. And it's beautifully animated. It is dubbed and subbed. I'm not sure if it's on any streaming services outside of Crunchyroll and Funimation, but I'm really enjoying it. And I'm about 6 episodes away from finishing it. So it's been a really
Nice.
good ride.
Very cool. I got a music recommendation for you guys. You guys familiar with the band Muse?
Yes.
Yeah.
Muse is a band that I've always appreciated, but kind of listened from a distance. I never really listened to a full album too much. But they have a new album coming out on the 26th of this month called Will of the People. They've released 4 tracks off of that ahead of time, much like Coheed did. And I stumbled across it, and I heard some people saying that they actually went a little heavier than they usually do. And guys, all 4 of these songs are bangers. You need to check out these 4 songs. It's The Will of the People, Compliance, Won't Stand Down, and Killer Be Killed. Killer Be Killed has a breakdown where they just almost get to heavy metal. It's really good. And then Compliance has a very 80s vibe to it that has a breakdown in it that I swear sounds like the Knight Rider theme. I want you to listen to it and tell me you don't hear the Knight Rider theme, but I literally listened to these 4 songs on repeat the other day. I must have listened to them about a dozen times each. I'm really digging it, and I cannot wait for the whole album to drop. So Muse's new album is called Will of the People. I highly recommend it. So anyway, thank you so much, everybody that listened to The Gaming Outsider. I want to remind you that the podcast is produced by Nate Lucas, and all the music you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemmage and Metroid Metal. His website is stemmagemusic.com. Please be sure to email us if you have any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. Until next week, I'm Scott Clark with Chris Behrensmeyer and Alyssa White, and we are The Gaming Outsider. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.